AI agents have a goal of making things easier. DeFi is becoming more and more complex with all these different stablecoins, all these different tokens, and all these new platforms launching. So it makes sense to allow AI agents to deploy complex DeFi strategies for you. And in this video, we're going to be talking about a project that does just that, called Giza. So I'm going to be doing a full deep dive. We're going to go through the problem that they're solving, their technology, smart contract audits, their team, their tokenomics, literally everything that I can find on this project. And if you stick around to the end, I'm going to tell you guys if I'm buying this project or not and why. Also, I know I'm in a new background. I am in Clausen, Italy. We did a cool hike to see a castle yesterday. And I think it's really interesting that Italians like to paint directly on surfaces. So yeah, I have about a week and a half left until I go home. So we're going to be spending the rest of our time going all around Italy. And after I shoot this video, we're going to head up to the Dolomites and do a crazy hike today and probably get really wet because it's raining out. Anyways, let's jump straight into the content. And per usual, none of this is financial advice. All right, again, this protocol is designed to give AI agents power to execute complex DeFi strategies to maximize your yield on your behalf while you still remain in custody over your keys. So I imagine they have something in there to where the AI agent can't withdraw funds from the wallet that you give it control over. But we're just going to go through some of these things, and I'm going to do my best to simplify it so it makes sense here. So it says, to accelerate the evolution of agent-driven market interfaces, a specialized infrastructure which enables permissionless innovation while maintaining trust, minimize principles is key. The Giza Protocol provides this foundation through three core innovations. One, semantic abstraction layer. This transforms complex protocol interactions into standardized operations via the Model Context Protocol, or MCP, allowing agents to express intent through clear financial concepts rather than managing protocol-specific interfaces. This creates consistent semantic interfaces for cross-protocol interactions while abstracting away technical complexity. So if you're anything like me, that sounded pretty confusing. So let's kind of simplify that. So basically, this layer translates complex protocol-specific on-chain actions, such as staking, swapping, and lending, into high-level intent that AI agents can understand and act on, versus you have, so picture if you wanted to do certain things, you have to think of like the exact knowledge to do it, and it can only operate by those rules. But through their MCP, agents no longer need to deal with low-level technical instructions. Instead, they operate using simple financial commandments, such as optimize yield or swap assets across different protocols in a seamless and consistent way. Number two, agent authorization layer. So it says, built on ERC 4337 smart account infrastructures with specialized validator modules, this layer enables non-custodial operations through granular permission management. Users maintain complete asset control while granting agents specific authority through session keys and programmable policies that enforce cryptographic security boundaries. All right, so to simplify this one, basically you're allowed to retain full custody of your assets, and agents act through the smart accounts that they're talking about, and they're governed by something called session keys. So the keys basically restrict agent permissions. So like, for example, you can only allow it to do certain operations. So like, let's say you only want to do stablecoin swaps with caps on volume and duration. Like, you can set rules for it. And this ensures that agents can still act autonomously, but strictly within the limits that the user sets. It allows you to be general and specific at the same time. So versus having to be like, only do this, you give it a general framework through which it can operate through. And then you can still set rules on it, like, only through this volume or this stable coin or these exchanges, etc. And number three is that they have a decentralized execution layer. So it says implemented as actively validated service, AVS, on EigenLayer. This component handles cross-chain messaging, gas optimization, and atomic transaction batching. Network operators stake Giza tokens as collateral, creating quantifiable costs for malicious behavior while receiving incentives for correct execution of agent operations. So before I can explain why this part is important, let's kind of go through what is EigenLayer, and I'll show you some of their metrics. So EigenLayer is basically a protocol that's built on ETH, and it introduces something called restaking, right? So you can take your Ethereum and stake it somewhere like Lido and get paid a yield to secure the network. But restaking is like when you stake on Lido, you get a liquid staked ETH token or Lido staked ETH token, and then you can restake it to get an additional yield. And EigenLayer does things like that. So they basically allow users to reuse their staked ETH to secure additional services beyond Ethereum itself, right? So they're aiming to solve the problem of fragmented trust and new decentralized services, like such as oracles, bridges, or middleware. by letting them borrow Ethereum security instead of building their own validator sets from scratch, right? Or having to run their own node. So EigenLayer is kind of like a security as a service layer for Ethereum. And normally when new crypto protocols launch, such as oracles, bridges, or new chains, they need their own validators and incentives to stay secure. And it's a lot of upkeep, right? It's like if you want to have your own website and you want to be secure, you get your own servers, host them in your house, get the firewalls, get the fans to keep them cool, hire security to keep them safe, or you use something like Amazon Web Services, or like, a company with a server farm like Facebook or Apple, right? This is kind of what EigenLayer is doing for blockchain. And they do this by letting Ethereum stakers restake their ETH to also secure these new protocols. In return, restakers earn extra rewards, and the new protocols get Ethereum level security without starting from zero. It's like turning Ethereum's trust network into something other projects can rent without building their own from scratch. And if we scroll down here and we look at DeFi Llama, $134 billion locked in DeFi right now, 17 billion of that is EigenLayer. They're number 3, only behind Aave and Lido. So this isn't, a small project. Okay, so after going through these 3 things, why does all this matter? Just to summarize. So you got AI agents that can run permissionlessly and innovate without central control. After you set the central control, that is. Users maintain asset sovereignty and safety at all times. More on safety later. And then complex DeFi strategies can be expressed and executed without technical friction. Biggest benefit to that is it makes DeFi automation accessible to anyone. All right, so now that we looked at that, let's look at the team to see who's behind the curtain running this thing. So here's the CEO, Renk K. Says co-founder and CEO at Giza, right? And if we scroll down here, he's been the CEO full-time for 2 years and 9 months, almost 3. Has some pretty good experience. He was a product manager at Curve Labs. Curve is a decentralized exchange. They're one of the top decentralized exchanges, but they specialize in deep stablecoin liquidity. And Curve is a very complex protocol, very complex, right? The people behind Curve were definitely some nerds, and I mean that in a good way. Founder at Say NBA, right? Some kind of NBA publishing platform, and he was the product manager at Johnson & Johnson for 3 years, quality assurance localization tester for EA. It's in EA Games, right, in Madrid. Got his BBA at Koch University, pause, and then bachelor's degree at University of Ghent. Here's another one of our co-founders, Sim F. Dagladen, right, in Berlin, 2 years and 11 months. He was the founder at Curve, one of the founders. We already talked about Curve. He was a mentor at CV Labs, strategy lead. So they definitely have some the experience that you need in order to build something like this, found in a project like Curve. I wonder why they left Curve and who's running Curve now. I'm not a big user of Curve because you can get better yields through swapping on other decentralized exchanges. Stablecoin yields doesn't pay out as well. And if we just look at Giza, you can see that it says IT services and IT consulting, Switzerland, 2 to 10 employees. They have been putting out a little bit of content. I was just in Switzerland. I was in Lucerne, Bern, and Interlaken, which is, I think, down here. Should have popped up in the office like, hey guys, what's going on? Anyways, and if we look at people, you can see that is 20 members, 20 associated members. Most of them are in Spain, and these are the people right here. So everyone who works there, you can see who they are, what they're doing. I like that. I like when a project puts the team out because it shows that they believe in it and they're willing to put their reputation on the line. So that's good. Going back here now, let's go over the tokenomics. Normally I do the tokenomics last, but they have it in this kind of order on the docs. So if you look here, right now they have a market cap of 24,696,000, and they have a fully diluted valuation of 214 million. So a very small percentage, like less than 15% of the tokens are unlocked. So you have 80-something% of the tokens that still need to come onto the market. So we need to figure out why that is and when these tokens are going to come onto the market so that we can see if it's a good idea to purchase. So if we look at CryptoRank, we can see who they raise money from, and this is also an important thing to look at. The round was led by Coin Fund. They got Arlington Capital, MH Ventures, Base Ecosystem Fund. That's a good sign, right? And let's see who else they got here. Yep, I don't know any of these ones, but it's good that they got all of these investors, because that just means those are the people that believe in them. Now let's look at the purpose and utility of the Giza token. It says the Giza token fulfills essential functions within the protocol, creating alignment between all ecosystem participants while supporting the network's security and operations. So they have security staking. So network operators must stake Giza to participate in the protocol's validation and execution network. The staking requirement creates a strong economic security model, while operators face material consequences for malicious behavior, while also receiving rewards for correct operation. This leverages EigenLayer's APS framework to ensure the protocol maintains robust security guarantees and will go live with the protocol launch. I believe they're already live. And then they have progressive governance. So it says Giza token holders participate in a phased governance approach that balances security with decentralization. In the initial phase, a dedicated security council executes key protocol decisions, while Giza holders retain oversight through community forum discussions, on-chain voting, which guide and oversee council actions. As the protocol matures, governance evolves towards a delegation system where tokens increasingly influence decision-making through elected representatives and specialized councils. This progressive decentralization ensures responsible governance while providing a clear path to community control, and will be live at the token generation event, which is when the token launches, which it already did. So they should be rolling this out. And this sounds to me like they're trying to evolve into a DAO model. And then they have their liquidity provisions. So it says the tokens form half of each liquidity pair in the protocol's AMM pools, enabling efficient fee processing with minimal slippage. When agents generate fees in various tokens, these pools allow the protocol to process payments to operators and the treasury with optimal efficiency. This liquidity infrastructure is crucial for enabling multi-token operations across different chains and protocols while maintaining economic stability within the ecosystem. And it says this utility-focused design creates a system where the Giza token directly addresses key challenges in operating a decentralized abstraction layer for agents by aligning incentives between operators, governance, participants, and users. The token enables the scalable, secure execution of agentic intents in Web3 while ensuring the protocol can evolve sustainably with the needs of its growing ecosystem. I like when a project has a few different use cases for the token that especially cause it to be bought and held, and you get incentivized for holding it, because that's just more tokens it takes out of supply. But more importantly, let's look at this distribution overview, right? So this is the breakdown of who got what. And I don't know why they wrote it like this, but it says, they say who got what, right? Team and advisors got 18, early backers and investors got 31, community got 22. Wish the community got a little bit more, but let's keep going. Treasury and future distribution 22, ecosystem, right? And TGE unlocked 0%. So they unlocked 0% means that everyone had their tokens unlocked 100%. If nothing one's unlocked at TGE 0%, that means they're already unlocked immediately, and they say that down here, right? So it says the specific allocations have the following vesting schedule. So team and advisors, 36-month linear vesting starting from TGE, no cliff. So just to break down vesting and cliffs. Cliff is a time period that has to go by to where you can even sell your tokens. So like the most common deal in venture capital is 1 year cliff, 4-year vesting. So if I have a 1-year cliff and I invest into a project for 1 year, I can't touch those tokens. I can't move them. I can't sell them. I can't do anything. If I have 4-year vesting, that means, like, let's say they could do it on a monthly schedule or a yearly schedule. If it's 4-year vesting with the yearly unlocks, that means every year 25% of the tokens are unlocked, and I can begin selling them if I want, or moving them around. So this one, right when the token launches, 36-month linear vesting, no cliff. And that's the same thing for this team and advisors, early backers and investors. They can start selling their tokens immediately. Community distribution, right? And if we go back and look, price isn't doing too bad, right? But the whole market is rising. So that's one thing to keep in mind. Same with community distribution, but that's pretty common, unlocked at TGE. Treasury and future distributions, 48-month linear vesting. No cliff, again, right? So you have this linear vesting, a lot of tokens just basically just being dumped onto the market every single day. And I do think that this will keep the price down, right? Because as it continues to rise, all the team and advisors and the early backers and the treasury, they all know that they all don't have any cliffs. So it's like, kind of like a rush to who can sell first and make the most profits. At least that's how I think. Investors have a fiduciary responsibility to generate returns for their limited partners, so they're gonna want to take some profits for sure. And then they have this fee system here. So it says the Giza Protocol implements a fee system designed to sustain the network's decentralized infrastructure rather than generate revenue for Giza as an entity. When agents execute transactions on the Giza AVS, they generate fees that can be paid in any whitelisted token, not just limited to native Giza tokens. So that means you can get paid in ETH and whatever altcoin, whatever strategy you're implementing, which I like. These fees flow through a carefully designed distribution mechanism. A portion of collected fees is swapped to Giza via liquidity pools, while the remaining portion goes directly to network operators who stake Giza as a security collateral. This creates a self-reinforcing economic loop where increased protocol usage directly rewards operators securing the network. I like that. The liquidity pools themselves, initially seeded by the Giza Association but open to liquidity providers, pair Giza with other tokens and generate standard AMM transaction fees. Through this structure, token value accrual is bound to protocol utility, creating a sustainable economic alignment without extractive fee models. So it's a lot of liquidity for you to be able to swap so that you don't have a lot of slippage. So that's a good thing. I do like that. So now, more importantly, let's dive deeper into the tokenomics. If we go over to Dex Screener, let's look at the top traders. The top trader made $1.2 million, but the other ones below that, 76K, 77K, 70K, 68K, right? So when you invest into a project, if the top traders haven't made millions of dollars yet, that means there's still some meat on the bone. So that's good. Let's look at the holders. This is a big one. So this is showing all the holders, right? The top holder is holding 80%. I would imagine that this is for holding liquidity, but the liquidity isn't locked, or else there will be a lock button right here. So this liquidity could disappear at any time. Something to keep in mind, right? And this pool does have the most liquidity for the Giza token, unless they have like their own AMM or something like how Pendle does. But yeah, this isn't locked. And then if we go down, right, 8%. This wallet's holding 8%, $16 million worth. This one's holding 943K. And this is not good right here. The other 69,000 holders, 69,539 holders are only holding 5%. So 90 something percent, 90 something percent is just held by these other wallets. They can sell at any time. So I don't think it's crazy to assume that if the price does a 10x or a 2x or a 5x, if it can go that high, they're going to be dumping this thing hard. I like to see a little bit more of a wide distribution when it comes to token holders. And if we look at their socials, you can see they have 81,000 members on Discord, 1,600 active right now. And if we look at their Twitter, 114,000 followers, right? They get a good amount of interaction, so the community's pretty lively. I do like that as well. So another thing, I looked all through their docs, through everything I can find on the internet, even here on ChatGPT, to see if they have a smart contract audit. And I wasn't able to find one. So that does raise a red flag. Hey, if I'm wrong, team, and you're watching this video, enlighten me. I'm just giving my honest opinion about the project. I'm not out to bash anyone. So this is what I found when I typed in the ChatGPT after I exhausted all other options. It says the Giza Protocol does not currently have a publicly disclosed full third-party smart contract audit from a recognized firm such as Certic, OpenZeppelin, or Trailbits based on publicly available data sources. And it says base scan flags no contract security audit submitted. And the automatic scanning by HashX, which is an AI audit, identified minor and medium level issues, including a potential rug risk due to 30% ownership concentration by one account. There were no critical severity flags. That's good, but we already looked at the token distribution, which is another red flag that we don't like. And Cyberscope reports a low security score despite decent fundamentals and decentralization scores. And then it goes to say that capabilities exist in the contract, such as ownership transfer, fee updates, token burning, and potential pause blacklist functions, meaning elevated trust in the team is required. Don't like that. No public bug bounty or remediation documentation is available, and the absence of independent audits lowers assurance for capital deployment. So now let's take a look at their website. They have a really cool website, right? We kind of went through everything that they talked about here. ARMA, it's a stablecoin yield agent. 15% ATR, 762 million in agentic volume. Assets under agents, I imagine is what that is, 14 million. All right, so they have a pretty cool website. Oh, they have a Telegram too. Let's see how the Telegram's looking. 64,000 members, that's good. And you can even deploy an agent, right? You can launch an agent. They have 30,000 agents, and current APR is 15%. Guys, 15% is more than inflation, but in DeFi, it's kind of shitty. So we do have a community where we're helping our members get triple digit yields with not a whole lot of management. Like AI agents is cool, but if you can learn the skill on your own, how to, yield farm and deploy your own capital and get triple digit yields, and you can set it up to where you don't have to manage it all the time or often. I'm in a pool right now, and the token that I'm in is paired with ETH. That token was the top performing crypto in all of crypto for the past 90 days. It's been generating over 250% APR consistently. And that doesn't even factor into the capital gains I was able to get from that. And we are doing a 49 weeks to freedom challenge. We're having one of our coaches lead this challenge who's already had success in yield farming, where we're literally showing you our firms. We have a course that shows you how to use all the tools and strategies that we're recommending. So if that's interesting to you, definitely click the link in the description, join our free community, or you can book a free call with me and we'll see if our program is a good fit for you. I digress. And it goes down here to compare, like ARMA 10%, Aave 3.5. Yeah, guys, 10% is nothing. Like you can get so much more without that much time, and it's not that complex if you just learn how to do it. So I have not launched an agent. Part of the reason is because they don't have an audit, but it is an interesting project. All right, so now for everyone who stuck around, am I buying this project or not, and why? I do think it's interesting. I really like that the team is public. They've been building for a long time. They have great experience. And it seems like a really serious project, like they're actually working hard on it. I am not buying it, and the reason why is because I really don't like that it's something that you give your wallet control over and they don't have a smart contract audit. That is a red flag. I've already been hacked before, and it's just not worth the risk when there's other projects that are doing cool things, that have audits, that have higher TVLs and assets under management, whatever you want to call it, whatever metrics. I can't justify taking money out of something else that I'm extremely convicted in and putting it into this project. I will keep my eye on it, and if an audit comes out, that will change my mind. I also don't like the tokenomics. Linear vesting with no cliff. Any of those people who have all those tokens, whether it be the backers, the treasury, or the team, can sell at any time, right? No cliff. The token just launched, I think, in like May. So you're going to have a lot of selling pressure with this token. And I don't like that most of the tokens are being held by 10 wallets. So for those reasons, like Mark Cuban says, I'm out. But with that, I want to thank you guys so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, share with a friend. Let me know what other AI agent projects you want me to cover. I know AI agent is a hot narrative right now, but I am about to go and hike the Dolomites. I've got to get me a poncho first because it's raining cats and dogs. I'm not sure if you guys can see it. Let me take you guys outside a bit here. It's raining cats and dogs. But look at this view. Anyways, like, comment, subscribe, share with a friend. I love every single one of you who tuned in, and I will see you in the next video. Take care and trade safe.